Alright, so today we're going to be working on these two spreading yews that I've got growing on my front porch. Let me get down in here and look at it. Decent little trunks. So that was the first trunk. And that's the second trunk. But we've got some back budding down in there, so it's time to cut back these top spreading branches. And so we'll go over the bench and get to it. Alright, what's up, y'all? I'm back out here at the bench in the backyard, and I've got a couple of spreading yews that I'm going to be doing. They're a little big to have both of them out here right now. As you can see, I'm kind of hiding in the bushes. But if you come in and look, you can see decent sized trunk down here. And what I did the last time is just cut everything back. Did a little bit of gin work down here. We've got couple of gins on either side of both of them. And so what today I'm going to be doing is maybe making a few more gins. But I'm going to be cutting a lot of this foliage back. We had 3 major flushes so far this year. It is August 19th. The first one I did would have been in early April. When I actually did this would have been last year, actually. So I bought these, I want to say, about this time last year. Cut them way back. I didn't get any flushes the rest of that year. But so far this year, I've had 3 major flushes. So you can see this one got cut here. We had 1 flush to here, another one, and then these actually flushed a 3rd time. So 1, 2, 3 times. So this is a spreading yew, like I said before. So let's go ahead, get in, and just start making some cuts, because this is way too much foliage. They were sitting up there on my front porch by the church pew that we have up there. And so what I'll be doing is coming in and basically taking all of this year's growth off, at least this year's growth off. I'll probably take them back a little bit farther, and maybe gin a couple more of these. But they bounced back really, really well from last year when I cut them fairly hard back. So let's go in and do this. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these hard back to wherever the first thing coming out of the branch is. So on this one, we're coming all the way back to there. There is another piece coming out down further on this branch, but I just want to take it back to here for right now. We're not working on ramification right now. We're just trying to develop this trunk a little bit, and maybe get our primary branches going. Not real sure where I want to go with these. They were just sitting down. They're just sitting up there, kind of as a larger. Well, that was quick. Wife's probably going to be mad at me for cutting that much back. But let's go in and look at this trunk. And we can kind of talk about what I'm planning on doing with it. So So this is probably going to be the front right here. And so we've got a couple of gens. They're looking okay. I can come in and actually paint them again. They didn't get painted this spring. That should be fine. So I've got some coming out of here in the trunk. What I might do is let these grow out a bit, maybe wire them out and get some decent movement out of them, and then take off this center all the way down here at the trunk. I've got another little bud right here. There's a bud coming out of the base of this one right here. And that looks like it's about it. So, none of these old cuts have really calloused over much. So what I'll come in here and do is we're actually going to go in and kind of cut into this, what little callus there is, and hopefully we'll get that to callus over going into next year. And any of these former branches, go ahead and cut back, the little stubs that is. Right here, I'm just cleaning off these little cuts that we made today. The other one I may cut back less. And my wife will be really mad at me because they'll be very different. But I kind of want to see what they will do when I do that. See how they respond differently. So I'm just taking a little bit of cut paste. And just make sure it doesn't get any diseases in here. And hopefully not dry out too much so that those calluses can form. All right, so the front's still probably going to be right there. But this will have to eventually go away. And we'll probably take this one, this side out, leave that one, and we'll have this bud come up here and come in between this this gen right here. Probably what we're gonna do. This could also be the front. But if we do that, then this would have to bring out this direction, take that one out, and then have this as the background as the stuff in the back to kind of give it a little bit of depth. So that or that. Could be either one of them. Yeah, so that's one of them. All done. And the other one, I'm going to cut back not quite this hard, or I will show you that I haven't cut that one. Well, anyway. So there we go. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the front. We'll change the planting angle a little bit just to kind of give it a little bit more movement down here in the base of the trunk. All right, so down here, I mean, just moving a little bit of the dirt out so that I can see the base. We've got a lot of circling roots, so those are all going to have to get Are those root aphids? Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to have to spray this. So I'll do that. That's not good. Alright, so I'm going to have to spray this and soak it down with a little bit of NT, a fungicide. I'll probably just mix up a good batch of lime sulfur, like a real dilute batch, and then just soak this down, because that well, that sucks. Okay, so I'll go get that other one, and I'll be right back. Take this one back up front. I'll go ahead and spray it down and make sure that I take care of that problem before it gets too bad. Luckily, these two plants are pretty isolated where they are. I mean, they're about 10 feet away from those planter boxes that I did those Lingstroms in last week. But so they shouldn't contaminate any more of my other plants. Just have to make sure and spray down this area as well so that any of them came out, that that's not going to be a problem. So all right, I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, so I'm back out with the other Taxus, the spreading yew. This one I cut back a little bit farther to where it only had 3 main branches or 3 main trunks coming up. This one splits here, then splits here, and then this one splits there. And so what I'm going to do with this one, I'm only going to cut off any green growth, and we'll see, besides anything farther down on the trunk, and then we'll see where we are with that. I might do a little bit more gin work, maybe gin one of these splits back here, probably this one if I do this one back here. So what I'll do is go ahead and cut off all this green, anything that is this year's growth. Just to kind of give me a little something different to work with. Well, most of this year's growth. So this would be the one that I gin if I do gin anything off. That takes all of the green off of that one. Oh. All right. So I've cleaned up everything that's not coming directly off of the trunks. Oh, missed one. All right, so now it's time to go in here and do some branch selection. So what I'm looking for is anywhere that there's more than two coming out of the same spot is we're going to come in and decide what to keep. 1, 2, 1, 2. So up here we've got 3 coming out. I can take this one off that's growing up, or I can take off one of these 2 that's coming down. This one coming up has no ramification whatsoever. Go ahead and take that. And these are coming out. They're growing down and then jutting out, which is basically what the growth pattern on this is anyway. Or at least what it seems to be. That's what they all seem to be doing. So we'll take off this little bud that's growing straight down. This bud that's growing straight down. This one we're going to take off the one going up. Out here we're going to take off the tip. So that'll eventually kick out this way. That'll spread in there. So up here, got 1, 2, 3. Probably take off this one in the middle that's growing down. Oh, not quite all the way through. All the rest of that's bifurcation. So right here. All right. So I've got this one that's coming off the side. It's actually split into 3. I think I'm going to take this middle one out because this one's coming down and then it'll come and actually spread out this way. It looks like what it's trying to do. And this one's just keep on going down. It'll be a while before it turns up. So when we do a little bit of wiring later, we can wire this one out, and so we'll have a little bit of fuller pad. Right here I've got, take out the center. I've actually got two coming off down here. Anywhere that I saw that it was happening while I was cleaning up, I went ahead and took care of. So I've got three coming out right here, but right here it's already split into two. So I've got one down here, which I could take off because it's a lot bigger than the rest of this. And then probably take this one off as well, because it's just the smallest one. Shorten this back a little bit. So if we redirect this branch that way, yeah, because I think this is going to be the front of this one. Again, some of these, I think I'm going to develop this one into a taller one than the last one, and eventually plant them together. Because if you've ever seen spreading yews, they don't grow like one and then that's it. You'll usually get a big giant group of them. So I may need to get another one. And have like a little planting of 3. I don't know, we'll see. I'll probably keep them up on the front porch. My wife actually really likes these trees, so she would be mad, although it would give me an excuse to get something else to put up there. But because these are kind of a low growing, kind of spreading ground cover, they work really well as a front porch plant, because they don't need a whole lot of direct sunlight, but they do get a lot of bright shade. So they're very good for growing in that part of our house. I like having something a little bit of everywhere. All right, where was I? Okay. So I've got 3 coming off right here. If I bring this up and around and use this as the apex, sorry, the front tree's right there, and bend this back over. If I take out this middle one, I'll come back to that one. I'll come back to the entire top. I don't really want to figure that out until I've got the rest of the tree. And so as we're doing branch selection, ooh, you're growing the wrong direction. Come back, take you out. Well, you'll see this a lot right here. So this growing tip, the bud died off, and as soon as that happened, these 2 leaves right here budded out. So instead of just putting out 2 from the same spot, because this one died off, I guess It kind of, these are close enough to the main growing stem right there that they just kind of went ahead and budded out. If we bring this down like that, we could be all right with that. I'll keep that, and we'll see how it does over the winter. Well, for the rest of the season, and then over the winter. All right, so out here, we've got one. Looks like it's starting to put out berries. This might be a female. So I've got two coming out here, but it's pretty close to this. I think I might keep it though. Two, technically two. One, two, one, two, one, two. All right. So, looking in here, this one's too low to do us any good no matter what. But if we use this as the, here, I'll bring you a little bit closer so you can actually see down in. So you can see we've got a few circling roots, big circling roots right there. Good root here. Two or three, I can't tell. And then I've got this big jumble of roots back here, which I'm going to have to take care of once we, oh, sorry, I'm talking about it and you can't even see it. Right back here. So these are all connected. So what I'm going to have to do when I repot this next spring, this one coming up, I should say, is we'll have to take care of this. Or if it is, we might be able to use it if we change the planting angle a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see when I actually get down into it, what it actually looks like down there. It could be just a big jumbled mess. I can't really tell. But yeah, so if this is the front that you're looking at, we've got some really good movement in this trunk right here. Can we get this one to come down some? Maybe. So I could put my, I could throw a hole down here and try and bring this down with a guy wire. Have this as the main trunk. I can probably bring this one down a good bit too. So we've got this hanging out up over here. I think I am going to gem this. That should add to the age looking of the tree. So if I gem this, I'll probably actually see if I can't grow this one more straight out that way and use this as the directional branch and just come in right above that and cut it. So what I'll do is I'll wire this one in the fall to try and bring it straight out this way, kind of give me a little bit of direction. And then, do I have anything on this one? Yeah, this one back here, I can actually shorten to this branch right here. And then this, like, oh. That's why you shouldn't play with stuff if you don't have them wired. So yeah, if I cut it back to here, we should be okay. Which brings us to our apex. Actually, we might gin this one too, so we'd have this whole Y right here kind of ginned. At least to here. If I bring this all back, we could have a little stub coming to here and a good one coming out the back. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. So, you're not going to make it. And it just helps to get everything cleaned up before you make any major decisions like that. Because if while you're cleaning, something happens, like you snap off part of a branch, then you don't get rid of everything that you might need to replace that. I mean, as young as this is, that wouldn't actually be a whole big, it wouldn't be a massive problem. I mean, this, I got it in the 3-gallon bucket last year, end of last year, end of summer of last year. And I mean, it hadn't put on a whole lot of girth. It maybe it put on a few millimeters. Oh, there's a little spider down there. So yeah. All right. So we need to figure out how far down we're going to come with this gin. I know this gin I want to take all the way back to the trunk. I'll probably gin this one down to where I do have some growth. Worst thing happens, I don't like it, and we gin the rest of it next year. So I'm going to come in here with my scissors and about 1/4 inch up above that shoot. Take my scissors and just give me a little score line. That way, when I come in with my pliers, I don't take anything further back than that, because then I'd lose this. I'd lose these 2 little shoots. So I need my gin pliers. We'll actually come all the way in here. Start at the end. You know, a lot of this is going to come off, but again, why get rid of something prematurely in case something happens later, or you really like the way it looks, the way it is. Like I said, this is a spreading yew, so it is still in the Taxus family. Taxus, toxic. Make sure, especially if you're doing something like gin work like this, that you wash your hands before you touch your face or anything, or put your fingers in your mouth or eat. or any of that stuff. I mean, it's probably not enough to kill you, but it might make you a little sick. Yeah, you just scrape or just press around the outside. And then once you break that cambium away from the once you press that bark in, it basically turns into a little second skin that you can just peel off. It's real easy. All right. So that's kind of what we like. Then coming in next year, what I'll do is I'll come back on this backside a little bit and kind of bring it down to a point. Might be able to do it right now. But I'm trying not to get any of the bark that's feeding these two up here. I want them to stay safe. And that should do it. That way it's not just this little circle. We'll come in, carve this up a little bit. What I'm doing here is just trying to keep it from looking like it's man-made. I want to kind of funky into it, so it looked like it ripped and tore instead of got cut. Like that. And the same thing up here. That might have been a little close to this top one. I'll probably lose it. But this bottom one might make it. Hopefully. We will see. And anywhere that I've had cuts from previous, I'm just coming in here, grabbing the little stub, and ripping it around. So it kind of looks at least a little bit more believable as it actually just died off. And so, and then this one, I can actually take back as hard as I want. This is coming off. This one will start all the way out at the end. Do the same thing. We'll crush, peel, and then shape it how we want it. because I'm not worried about any of the because I don't have any green up here that I'm worried about, any new sprouts, any new shoots. I'm killing this off. I don't have to worry about making a ring down here to stop the trunk or stop the bark from running. And once I get down there, I'll just go a little bit gently and see if we can't get something like this into it that will give us a little bit more interest in the branch. This one will probably bring back to about right here. I don't know. We'll see how this tip work goes. Like if I can get this to stick, then we might keep it, but maybe not. I don't know. It's just easier to start at the tips and work your way back until eventually you like what you see. If you don't like it, then keep going, and if you get all the way down to the base and you still don't like it, then take it off. It's not really an exact science. All right, so there's that. And we come in and grab this where it was cut last year. That didn't leave me a whole lot. So yeah, I think we're going to actually come back at least to here. And eventually this will be kind of flattened out up like this. Yeah, and because we had this dead wood on this side already, and we didn't have any over here, kind of looks like something came down and kind of smashed this whole side of it. And what we'll do is we'll actually grow this over this way. Maybe put this through that center like that. Eventually, once it grows out, it doesn't quite reach there right now. But if we go like that over here, then it's like this whole side of the tree was smashed, and this kind of has grown up. And you can see that, I mean, this was the main trunk at one point, and then we had this big branch off to the side. And so that's really what it would have happened. So it's growing out this way, and this side of the tree gets smashed down, the top of the tree dies, and so this branch is like, oh my goodness, now I'm the only part of the tree left, I'm the top. So it turns up and comes up here and spreads out. So that's kind of the story that this tree is telling me. And if we're going to leave this tall up here, then we're not going to need this down here. We'll keep this right here in case we need to fill in some spots over here. That might not even survive because of how much of the bark got pulled away from. Actually, no, that's up here. So these down here will be fine. There's no problem of them not making it. So these kind of, you know, springing out of the ashes of the old tree. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. That's all we're doing for today. One more spin around. So what we did was we cut everything back. And then we gin these two new pieces. I'll let them age out a week or two. I might come in with a Dremel carving tool and put a little bit more weathering on them. And then get a little bit of lime sulfur on all of my gin work. So the new stuff and the old stuff. Because these are starting to fall apart a bit. There's some in this old tree. That still look cut off. Try and pinch these out so that there we go. And this way we don't have anything that looks too forced, too cut off. That's why you try and always rip your gin and not just cut them off and hope that they look okay eventually. But if you spread them out like this and then just peel back, kind of looks a little bit more natural. All right. Oh, got this old cut down here from the last time. We'll nibble it back down to the trunk. And I'll throw a little bit of gin of cut paste there. Should be the only one. Go, and that should do pretty well. All right, so until the next time I see y'all at the bench in the backyard, just remember to grow them big, but keep them small.